good afternoon. This is Buzz at Town Hardware. I have a little tip for you people that have a sagging door or a door that won't latch all the time when you close it. Possibly won't latch at all. So let me give you a few tips how to easily fix this without calling in the locksmith, and he's expensive. Let me first explain the door in a frame. Simple drawing. I'm not an artist. Here on a regular door in a regular frame, the margins or the gap between the door and the frame should be equal all the way around. Normally it's about 1/8 of an inch. If it's not, and your door is jamming, your door is exaggerating, is probably more like this. Big gap here, probably touching over here. This is still an 1/8 of an inch. This is still an 1/8 of an inch. But then there's a big gap here and no gap there. This is typical of a door sag. Most people don't understand 70% of the weight of that door in a standard wood exterior door is 110 pounds. 70% of that is on that hinge alone. That hinge is into wood that's probably less than 1/2 inch thick. But it's not holding a whole lot. If you start opening and closing the door, surprisingly, if you watch yourself, you lean on the knob or the lever. You're putting extra weight on it. That's going to pull these screws loose, and the door is going to sag. As that door moves over, this latch will be repositioned downward in this opening in the frame. This has a strike in it, and there's a latch bolt that goes in there. Well, once you move that latch downward, it doesn't hit the hole anymore. Pretty simple, huh? How do you fix it? Well, that's the easy part. It's kind of a trick that a lot of people make a mistake with. The first thing you should do is check the screws in the top hinge. The ones that go into the frame. The door ones are usually tight. Quick, easy fix. Remove the screws from the frame part of the hinge. It's kind of an exploded hinge. Open the door, take these screws out, put a toothpick or a matchstick in the hole, and put the screws back in. That will probably tighten up that hole and let that screw pull that hinge back in this direction. That's going to take this and pull it back up. That's going to move this latch board open. Your door is fixed. That doesn't always work. Sometimes it might be that those screws are still tight, but the hinge itself has bent a little bit. Now, how can you make a door move in a frame with a bent hinge or a hinge that's perhaps very rigidly mounted and you just can't do anything with the screws? There is a secondary way of doing it. And the door frame top hinge is the one you're working with, but you can work with any of them. I'm going to draw another hinge knuckle here. Hinges have 5 knuckles. Every other knuckle is going to be attached to the door. This is the frame. If you take and remove the two, this is the frame hinge now we're talking about. We're going to remove the 2 screws here, or at least loosen them way out. Keep these loose but not out. That's going to take this part of the hinge to separate from door frame. You'll see a gap over here. You should take a piece of cardboard, maybe real thin, maybe of 1/4 of an inch wide, the length of the hinge, and slide it behind this area of the hinge in the frame. Then you're going to tighten that screw, these screws down again, and these screws down again. It's going to take the hinge and move it away from pull that door this way. Hard to understand until you try it. Try it out. Really quick, really easy. For you mechanics out there that are doing like commercial work where you have a metal door, a metal frame, that is a real quick trick to save you many times over. Opposite to this, we put a shim under this part of the door frame hinge. We'll move it the opposite direction, so you can actually take the bottom hinge and move the door that way. So you can make this move back and forth. You can do all 3 hinges and move the door completely back and forth like that. Another old timer's trick, which is really easier. You take the hinge knuckle that's attached to the frame, put a crescent wrench on that knuckle alone. That's the one that's attached to the frame. You want to move the door that way, pull the pin out. That's going to release this all together. Bend that over to where this hinge will then look like you're going to try and put the pin back through there, and obviously you can't do it. But lift the door. It's going to push these knuckles back this way until they're lined up. You put the pin in, and you've significantly moved the door in that direction. It's automatic. That's my tip of the day for correcting a door problem. It can be an interior door, a screen door, storm door, big entry door, doors going out to a patio, swing doors. That's it for Tuesday.